Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22, and it's time for round 15 of our career mode. It's time for the Misano World Circuit of Marco Simoncelli. So starting in pole position with another qualifying we've decimated, we wait for the red lights to go out, and away we go. So for this one, as the previous races, I'm going to be keeping the power setting rather low, and we'll only use power setting 3 when we need it, just to keep the action quite entertaining and very, very intense. But Foggia does take the whole shot going into turn 1 and now leads into turn 2, but go to the right hand side as Grant gets picked up for the right hand side for the very anti-del Parco, as the Leopard Honda man still has the advantage going on to Rio for turn 4. But now into the right hander and this really tight apex we go to keep it really, really tight knit for the next apex as well, so we can stay with Dennis the Menace as we go to the left hand side now for turn 6, coming out of there projectiling with speed in the slipstream of Foggia ahead. Dennis on two behind us as well. Seems to be in a good run of form in MotoGP 22 right now, so that's good to see for the young Turkish rider. Of course, getting a rather big lad now into the smallest category of MotoGP, so hopefully next season he'll be joining us within Moto2. But now bringing on the power, we might have a little lunge here over the inside. For Foggia, can't really get it to stick there as Mino now inherits third position. Something happened to On2 behind, and Masia up into the top 5 as well. But it's right now, it's all systems go between the two championship protagonists. A 50-point championship lead for the man on board the green CIP KTM as we now go around the outside into Cavone. It would take a braver man than me to overtake into Cavone, but maybe later on for now. But it's not going to happen as of yet. But into 13 and then into the Misano corner for turn 14. This really difficult corner of Caro, excuse me. It's Misano's the final corner here in this Marco Simoncelli circuit. Now to the left hand side we'll go really tight to the apex here. Might have a lunge going into Misano. I don't think we can make it stick here. See, Foggia just got a bit more speed going into the corner and braked a little bit later than I do. I rather prefer an earlier braker marker and then get it nice and tight and projectile outwards, but not this time right now. First lap done and dusted. Foggia is still the man to beat. As Grant goes up on the inside. What a cutback that was going into turn 2, but Foggia still has the inside line. Does he use it? Of course he does. And Andrea Mino taking advantage, not just one spot, but taking advantage of both riders going wide there as Foggia round the outside. That would be a brave and bold move. It's not going to stick as Grant sticks the KTM up on the inside. Look who's coming on through as well. Dennis On2, the Turkish rider, just firing his KTM through, and it's a bit of a KTM battle amongst the Hondas right now. A KTM amongst the pigeons is one could say. But now going hard onto the brakes for the very difficult corner of Quercia, the left-hander for turn 8. Feels easier to get into that corner this time, but Jama Masia has gone down behind. A wretched couple of races for him, crashing out to Mugello, and now here. Past couple of races have been rather tough for Jama Masia, but now to the right-hand side for Tramonto. We have lost a little bit of speed there, as the Gas and the Honda both went on through. Power setting 2 will remain for the time being, and then hopefully we can get into Cavone and then further forward to get past Andrea Mino. But for now, still happy with the position we're in. Cavone for turn 11, really close now to the rear of the Gas rider. Could we make a lunge into 12? We do make a little bit of contact with Sergio Garcia as Garcia round the outside, and then Foggia up on the inside for Caro. It certainly does, but we'll go really tight on the brakes there and hopefully squeeze him through. Goodness me, Foggia got shoved and we're going for a massive wheelie. Oh, the massive wheelie. They just hit you every now and again in this game for some reason. I don't really know what Dennis On2 is doing, but he's... Goodness me, On2 went round the outside, onto the rumble strip, onto the green, round the outside and back on to the circuit. So things have got a little bit hectic here. It's all gone heck to a handbasket for us at the early stages of this Grand Prix, but do not fear, we can soon get things back together again. As On2 runs it a little bit deeper there, I could go for the tighter apex. We did it to Foggia on the lap prior, but it's not going to yield us a position. In fact, it does into the very anti-del Parco, though. Beautiful move up on the inside for third position. But for now, Sergio Garcia, Andrea Mino still leading this Grand Prix here in the circuit of Marco Simoncelli as we go wide. There, massive contact has been made. Gesticulation from both riders as we go back over the inside of Dennis On2. These two are having a good old ding-dong of a battle with his final position on the rostrum. On2, Grant just really letting the tempers flare there. Arms, fisting, waves and everything for this one. Not happy. Both KTM riders will certainly have a disagreement and certainly probably won't agree at the end of this one. But for now, focusing on the action. Mino, Garcia, Grant On2, Suzuki, Guevara, Sasaki and John McPhee in the top 8 positions right now. Dennis Foggia has fallen off a cliff. Where on earth has the Italian gone, who is only 50 points behind Grant, who's on your screen right now, in this championship battle? Now I know we pushed him wide going into Caro, but I haven't seen him appear since that particular moment. So this is a great spot now for Grant to take some massive championship points as he runs it deep into 13, tries to get the cutback, but it can't do anything about Sergio Garcia making a lovely clean move going into Caro, or at least before it, for turn 13. Dre Mino leading the way. The heart rate monitor still at 111 for now, so we're not too intense, but you better believe I'm not really resting on my laurels at this stage of the race. And of course, if you did skip ahead and you missed me say it earlier, we are only using power setting 2. Power setting 3 will only be used in the case of emergency. If things get really heated and we're falling behind, maybe then I'll consider using power setting 3, but otherwise it's just way too easy against the hardest difficulty AI. So for now, power setting 2 is absolutely fine for me. But look at this up on the inside now, going into Rio for turn 4, breaking out of Sergio Garcia's slipstream and then into Rio for turn 4. Beautifully done. Garcia didn't have a chance on that particular exchange. Lap 4 of 6, only a couple more to go now, ladies and gentlemen. How is this one going to go down? We have clear space ahead of us. 0.8 of a second is the Italian ahead of us. He's not had a Grand Prix win in a while. I don't even think he's had one in our MotoGP career mode. Of course, he had one in Qatar this season. He knows we're speaking about him. He's had a good old look behind his shoulder. Let's not put the commentary curse on the young Italian. So the lead still remains as is for now. It's status quo with 7.5 approaching to 0.8 of a second is the gap from the Italian to the British rider. But we do have a small smidge of a slipstream here. Going into Cavone, then into 13, and then into 14 for Caro. We could really close in on Andrea Mino here. Start the penultimate lap off with a bang if we can get close enough. To the right hand side we'll go, maxing out on the rev limiter as we go really tight to the apex for 13. Slam on the anchors for 14 for Caro. Keep it in nice and tight and be careful upon the acceleration. Don't want to spin up the rear too much as we go on the right hand side. But the medium front, medium rear combination working like a treat here in the Misano as we now go firm on the brakes for the left hand side for Misano corner. As you see, as I mentioned earlier, nice and tight apex, but whoa, a little bit too eager upon the acceleration, touching the green. I remember Gabriel Rodrigo doing that a good couple of years ago and taking out Livio Loy in the process of getting too aggressive on the acceleration for Misano corner. But we did indeed take the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It was a stunning lap, if I do say so myself. A 1:42.636 from the 27-year-old British rider as we go very firm on the brakes now, approaching Andrea Mino into Rio. He's running a little bit deep, a little bit off compared to what I do as I go onto the track limits. He threw me off a little bit there because I thought he was going to try and cut back, and I just got a little bit ahead of myself, if you will. It does happen sometimes. I'm certainly not impervious to overthinking within a MotoGP Grand Prix, but now firm on the brakes for Quercia for the penultimate time. We're only going to be doing this one more time in this terrific part of Misano. Dennis Onchu currently holding on to a podium. He's there in third. He was in third position as Sergio Garcia has just retaken the position. So Suzuki, Garcia, Onchu, Guevara, Dennis Fodge is back into the mix, and John McPhee all battling it out. And I do believe Ayumi Sasaki is around there somewhere for a battle for third position. It's certainly going to kick off behind us, but it's going to absolutely explode if we get up on the inside into Cavone for turn 11. It's not going to happen as of yet. A second is the advantage from Grant to Suzuki, so it's all down to these two riders, sliding the rear ever so slightly there, chucking on a little bit too much rear brake than desired as we now approach turn 14. Keep it in nice and tight to the apex there. Beautifully done. Alpine Star's knee and elbow both touching the floor there to the right hand side. But now into 15, Andrea Mino, will he open the door for us and let us on through? It doesn't quite seem that's going to be the case. Turn 16 only yields one position on through, but we do touch the green once again. We're going to have to really pay attention to that on this final lap. And here it is then, guys. Is it about to explode here in the Misano World Circuit of Marco Simoncelli? To the left hand side we'll go for turn 2. Does Mino play it tight here? Does he go for the defensive line? He tried it, but unfortunately for him, Grant, the experienced, or somewhat experienced I guess you could say, going firm on the brakes and getting him onto the right hand side. But now into turn 4 for Rio. Where is Mino? There he is. Those familiar orange coloured gloves as he goes up on the inside. Aggressive but fair racing from Andrea Mino. The man who's been in Moto3 that feels like forever has really got a chance to shine here today. Suzuki, third position. He's 0.6 of a second, so I don't think it's going to really get involved in this scrap. But going into Quercia, Mino going for that tighter apex. We tried to go around the outside. Didn't happen as of yet, but I better believe that this is the chance. Line him up going into the right hand side for Tramonto, line him up going into Cavone, and then see what happens for the next part of the lap. So, oh, Mino's down! Oh, never mind, it's over. The Italian, an absolutely abysmal performance. Well, I've completely ruined the performance to make it abysmal. That was a disaster. Oh, it's an absolute shame. But it's complete jubilation on the other side when you look at KTM. It was KTM versus Honda. Honda will be disconsolate at the end of this one. Really disappointed with the result in that one. Of course, they're still going to get a man on the podium within Tatsuki Suzuki, but it wouldn't have been what it could have been. It could have been so much more for Andrea Migno, but unfortunately getting into a good old scrap with Grant doesn't always yield a good result for them. But for us, absolutely fantastic. It's magic Misano for Matt. Magic here in Misano for Matt Grant. Across the line, it's another victory to add to the tally. So that's the end of that one then, guys. And John McPhee somehow got on the podium. Absolutely fantastic for the fellow British rider. We couldn't get him on the podium in Silverstone, even though I wanted it. But never mind about that. But I tell you what, guys, that was a bloody good race. Unfortunately, Andrea Migno did crash into Tremonti, which unfortunately ruined a chance of a good old ding-dong of a battle, but I'm still happy with the results. So Fodge has slipped 15 points behind now, so it's now 65-point championship lead to Grant and 87 clear from Tatsuki Suzuki. A look at the team championship, and it's still Leopard Racing leading the way, but just 22 points ahead of CIP and Green Power KTM. But once again, guys, we find ourselves not only to part firme, but we're going to be standing on the top step of the podium once more, and I tell you what, it never gets old. But guys, thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you want to see more, be sure to hit the like button and be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.